Are you ready for some good news? Jesus is the yes to all the promises of God. Now, here's today's text from 2 Corinthians. It's chapter 1, verse 19. For the Son of God, Jesus Christ, whom we proclaimed among you, Silvanus and Timothy and I, was not yes and no, but in Him it is always yes. For all the promises of God find their yes in Him. That's why it is through Him we utter our amen to God for His glory. You'll find both conditional and unconditional promises of God in the Old Testament. Most notable contrast is found between Exodus 19 and 2 Samuel 7. When the Israelites gathered at Mount Sinai, where Moses received the Ten Commandments, the Lord inaugurated a covenant that depended on the obedience of the people. If you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession. But when the Lord made His covenant with David, it was unilateral and unconditional. Your house and your kingdom shall be made sure forever. In order for the promises to Moses to come true, human obedience was essential. If Israel would not obey, the promises were null and void. In order for the promise to David to come true, someone would have to transcend the political chaos of Israel after Solomon, when the kingdom was divided, marauded, and exiled. In other words, both the conditional promises and unconditional promises of God were impossible in natural human terms. The Mosaic covenant couldn't be fulfilled because no Israelite could obey perfectly. The Davidic covenant couldn't be fulfilled because sin wrecked the nation and Babylon destroyed Jerusalem. There was no one obedient enough to merit the conditional promises to Moses, and there was no earthly throne left for a descendant of David to occupy until Jesus. Jesus came to be the true Israelite, the one human being who perfectly obeyed the Father. Jesus is the sinless one who fulfilled the requirement for spotless human obedience and covenantal faithfulness. Jesus also came as the true Son of David. He came as David's lineage to take David's throne, but in a better way than anyone had envisioned. It was not to be a political throne dependent upon a palace in Jerusalem. It was to be a celestial throne over an invisible empire. Jesus is the yes to all of God's promises, both the unconditional and the conditional promises. Without Him, all the promises fail. With Him, no promise of God can ever be broken. And that's the gospel. Well, that's today's daily devotional. And if you want to learn more about the yes and amen, get the whole message. It's free at sharingthelight.org.